You keep repeating this worst case scenario in your own head, even though none of those things never ever happened. Think about how many times you've been worrying about things and overthinking and being so freaking scared and afraid and being like, but what if, but what if? Start asking yourself, but what if everything goes right? Because it's equally, even if it's not more possible than things going wrong. You have zero proof, zero data behind how bad those things can go. You can actually make things go right. History proves all of those worst scenarios, if it comes to economy, if it comes to financial situation of the world, they not necessarily always came true. I was reading another day, this book, Psychology of Money, and he was literally explaining the author every single situation, every single bad, worst prediction, and people trying to be so realistic. But they didn't find it in their head that it is actually possible that things gonna go right. And things then gonna go way better than you could have ever imagined. Hello, it is Marta. Welcome you guys back to my YouTube channel and the same to my podcast. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because we are yapping here every single week all about manifestation, confidence, and building your dream life. It's so windy today. I'm in Miami and I'm so excited, you guys, to help you, to empower you, and to tell you this extremely good news. Shocking. If you are the kind of person who's always overthinking, if you are actually overthinking this worst possible case scenario that I mentioned at the beginning, this is a good thing, okay? You are actually having such a useful and amazing skill for your manifestation. Because guess what? If you can focus so much of your time and energy on overthinking some completely, most likely even not possible worst scenario case, you can do the same to brainwash yourself for success. You can do the same to manifest all of the best things by basically overthinking the best possible case scenario. And all it takes is a little tiny bit of training. And of course, at the beginning, it won't be natural. Of course, those limiting beliefs gonna creep in and coming back to you. But guess what? You don't have impact on your first thought. You definitely can control your second thought. So whenever this first thought comes to your head and you're like, okay, but what if I don't have actually enough experience for this job? What if I start my business and I don't have clients and everything's just go to the, But then ask yourself, first of all, what is the rationale behind it? And you can be like, oh yeah, because the job market is so difficult, because your experience is not good enough. Okay, yeah, of course, you are good in finding arguments for failure, but let's now reframe them and start asking yourself, why not you? If the job market is so hard, and probably your argument would be like, there is just this tiny little percentage of people who get those jobs or who build successful businesses, and most businesses fail. Which is data, it's true, most new businesses fail. But why wouldn't you be in this tiny little percentage of people who actually win and succeed with building your own business? Why from the beginning would you set yourself for failure? Start asking yourself those questions. Start asking yourself what is behind those questions. Is it actually this data of businesses that failed? Or is it just your limiting beliefs and lack of confidence with believing that actually you can achieve everything you want and that you can build this successful business and that you can and deserve and you are worth of living your dream life? Start asking yourself, because usually with all of this overthinking, with building all of those negative scenarios and negative kind of excuses, there is something behind it. And those are not facts. Those are limiting beliefs. And it might be something you heard in the past. Maybe it was something your teacher told you in primary school, or your friend, or even family member who was trying to keep you safe. And that's basically even not coming from bad place. They were just trying to make sure you won't have so many disappointments in your life. So they told you to play it safe. To play it safe, to not take risks, to not do anything new, to not try things that might not work out. But isn't it already not working out, staying somewhere where you are dissatisfied with your life, staying in career that feels miserable, staying in relationships that you know you deserve better, or even if you don't know it yet that you deserve better, you are simply unhappy where you are? This is the biggest risk. I don't get it how failure can be any kind of risk, while staying where you are dissatisfied is the biggest risk you can make. Not changing your situation, not taking life in your own hands, not making effort of becoming this version of yourself who you are supposed to be. And I don't believe in think of like there's just some people who are confident. They are just, certain personality, or it depends on your character. Like this doesn't depend on anything like that. Confidence is something who you are meant to be. You are meant to be confident. Yes, you are. Because this is natural state of being. It's like abundance in nature. It's like feeling good. Of course you deserve to feel good. And of course you deserve to feel confident. Let's break it down. Why would you in the first place think you shouldn't feel confident? What is in there that make you feel like you shouldn't be confident? Is it because someone told you once like, oh, don't be so full of yourself, or don't be so arrogant, when you spoke highly about yourself, when you actually believed in yourself, and it was such a painful experience that you decided that you won't be confident? And sometimes those kind of situations are not even happening in your like conscious mind, but in your subconscious mind, so you won't even always able to recall those situations. But at least start asking yourself if you truly agree with this scenario. If you truly agree with thinking that you shouldn't be confident, for example, or you are not worthy of certain things. Because you are worthy of everything and anything you want, and confidence is gonna lead you there, wanna walk you there. That's why confidence is so powerful. That's why I have this little conspiracy theory. That's why people want you not to be confident, because of course they're gonna sell you more products, they're gonna tell you to buy better clothes, new phone, because it's gonna boost your confidence, this skincare brand, those clothes. Like, of course, capitalism, all of this new economy works like that. And I'm not blaming anything. I'm not demonizing all of the current setting of the world. But I'm just explaining that this is how society works. They're gonna always make you feel a little bit less to sell you something to feel better. But what if you bring back this power? What if you claim this power and realize that all of this power, all of this strength, all of this feeling happy, fulfilled and confident and happy doesn't come at all from buying next new thing or investing in some BS, but actually loving yourself. And actually standing in front of the mirror every single day, looking deep into your own eyes and being like, I love you. Let's try it. Let's do it even now after this video, or tomorrow morning. You just look into your own eyes. How do you feel? Is there any trigger? Are you crying when you look into your own eyes? Do you feel uncomfortable, or do you just feel this deep love and connection, and you may be gonna even cry, but from the happiness, from self-love? If you're not able to build this self-love and connection with yourself, how are you even thinking about giving this love anywhere else? The less selfless thing is actually self-love, because you cannot help anyone else before you're gonna help yourself. That's why on plane they tell you to put oxygen mask first on yourself before you're gonna help anyone else. This is exactly why, because you are unable, like physically even, to help anyone before you're gonna help yourself. The same happens with self-love. You can't love someone else more than you love yourself. And I know it might seem in times that it is possible. You just love others more than you love yourself. They are more worthy, or you're almost feeling like you're not worthy of all of their love. But it means you don't even love them that much as you think you do, because it's just not possible. You're gonna only give that much to others as you give to yourself. That's the bare minimum. So rather than thinking about it as any kind of negative self-obsession and arrogance, start fully and unapologetically loving yourself, knowing that you are the best, you are the baddest bee at this planet, and you are meant for more, and you are meant to achieve all of your dreams and pursue all of your passions and follow all of this beautiful purpose that you have in your heart, even if it's something you don't understand. Most likely it actually is, because this is how it happens when you start following your real purpose, when you start following this real thing you have in your heart. Because at first it feels kind of like confusing, and you might be like, why do you even feel like drive towards certain thing? Why do you have this urge to create art or videos online? And you might start like immediately questioning it and be like, it doesn't make any sense. This is what inspired actions are. This is how you create your dream life. This is how success comes to you, because you listen to this feeling within you telling you to do certain things before even mind gonna follow. It's like with intuition. You always gonna feel it in your body. You just always gonna know. If you're connected with yourself, if you listen to your intuition, you always gonna know. But it only depends on you. If you're actually gonna follow this intuition, if you're gonna trust it. The funny thing is, the more you're gonna trust it, the more you're gonna build this self-trust with yourself, and it's gonna be easier to follow and listen to your intuition next time. But your intuition is never gonna be silent just because you're gonna ignore it. Start loving yourself as you would love someone else. Start speaking to yourself as you're gonna speak to your friend. With your friend, you wouldn't be like, oh yes, you're gonna fail, this is such a terrible idea, you better quit today. Like, you don't even think about it. Who do you think you are? No, you're gonna be like encouraging, unless you're a bad freaking friend. You're gonna be like, yeah, go for it, do it. If it that it seems difficult, it's gonna be easy for you because you know everything you should, because you have everything it takes, because I love you, just is the best person. That's how you speak to your best friends. That's how you have to speak to yourself. Stop being this harsh parent on yourself who gonna always find things to make you stay where you are. I'm not saying your parents were not encouraging you, but just stop being this person who always finds excuses, who always finds things to make them more difficult and challenging than they are actually are. Because maybe your goal is so easy and so smooth. It happened for me so many times that whenever I would be like chasing and pushing and fighting for things, because even fighting shows you are not that worthy of them. And I'm not saying working hard is a bad thing. Being consistent, being determined, disciplined your itself is a sign of self-love. But I'm also saying, if you think you're gonna have to literally like fight for something, you immediately set yourself in this survival mode. So you set yourself on this like fight or flight mode. It's gonna be so hard. You're gonna suffer achieving this goal. You don't even know if you are meant to do it because it seems on such a pedestal versus where you are and who you are today. You need to a little bit detach from those dreams. You need to understand this is so obvious, this best case scenario, that of course you're gonna get it. Of course you're gonna achieve it. Why not? Who else if not you? Of course you are a person who always achieve everything you want. You always get whatever you want. It may sometimes take you a little bit faster or a little bit longer, but you're always gonna get there eventually. And this is also how you build your self-trust, with actually taking those actions. So when you start already overthinking this best case scenario, you immediately take actions. That's why everything starts with the mindset. Because guess what? If you're gonna think things are related to your dreams, to your desires, are completely impossible, are completely out of the blue, why would you even take action? If you already know, if you already set yourself for failure in your head, if you already set yourself that like that's just not something that's possible, or that's not just something for you, with this mindset you're gonna wake up next day and go for it and do the work and be consistent and do this thing even on days when you don't feel like doing that, which happens a lot in our life, and that's completely normal. I bet you won't, because you will already know in your mind that it doesn't make sense. So that's why you have to make it make sense. You have to brainwash yourself that you are worthy of it and it's possible. And it's not brainwashing yourself in a way of like putting yourself some BS to your head. You are putting to yourself truth to your head, finally. And understanding that you're worthy of all of those beautiful things, that you have all it takes, and now you just need to train your brain the same time you train your muscles at the gym. And it's gonna be easier with time, trust me, because I've done it. I'm like master manifestator. I would like always focus on my goals to achieve them through manifestation, and of course through hard work, through action as well. But it's not action alone. You have to set this mindset. You have to already feel like it's happening. If your body can feel it, your body doesn't know difference between what is real and what is in your imagination. If you can already feel it, you immediately start becoming this version of yourself. By even thinking and brainwashing yourself, overthinking best case scenario, you create new neural paths in your brain. This is the real change. It's not some woo-woo, it's how neuroscience works. So instead of postponing, procrastinating, building this dream life, start building this dream life today. Why would you wait even one more second? You guys, it's been a pleasure catching up with you as always. Make sure to go and subscribe, give me some like, follow IG and TikTok. Hello, it is Marta. I see you in the next one. You are the baddest bee on this planet, and please remember that. Bye.